Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be kind of stepping into a time machine
Oh, cool.
and exploring U.S. presidential inaugurations.
Yeah.
We've got a stack of fascinating sources here.
Okay.
Historical accounts, personal letters, even some
Oh, wow.
quirky news clippings.
I love it.
Our mission, if you will,
Yeah.
is to kind of uncover the hidden stories and
Right.
surprising facts behind these pivotal moments, from the first oath to the dawn of the modern media age.
You know what I find really fascinating about inaugurations
Yeah.
is that they're not just about the individual taking the oath, right?
Right.
They capture the anxieties, the
Yeah.
hopes, even like the spirit of the nation at that specific moment.
Right.
It's like each ceremony is holding a drop of the American soul. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true.
Changing and evolving as the country itself does.
Okay, so let's rewind all the way back to the beginning.
Okay.
April 30th, 1789, New York City.
Wow.
George Washington, our very first president,
Right.
takes the oath.
The oath.
to inaugurate.
What jumps out at you from this era?
Well, for starters, I mean, just imagine the scene.
Right.
It's not the grand Washington, D.C. we all picture today, right?
Right.
It's the bustling streets of New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
This brand new nation still kind of figuring things out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's Washington in a suit made of American broadcloth.
Uh-huh.
It was a deliberate choice, you know, to send a message.
A message of economic independence.
Exactly.
Like, hey, Britain, we can make our own fancy clothes now.
You got it. Remember, I mean, the economy was shaky after the revolution.
Right.
This wasn't just fashion, you know?
Yeah.
It was a statement of self-reliance, like a boost for American industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can bet that choice resonated with all those newly independent citizens.
It's amazing how, like, a small detail can hold so much significance.
Right.
And speaking of details,
Yeah.
there's that whole debate about Washington adding, "So help me God" to the oath. Right. Now, whether he was actually the first to do that is,
Right.
still up for debate.
Right. Right.
But it certainly began a pretty powerful tradition, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's a reminder of the weight of that office.
Yeah.
Like appealing to something bigger than oneself when you take on that huge responsibility.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay, so, let's fast forward now to 1841.
Okay.
And we've got William Henry Harrison,
Right.
a man who seemed determined to make a lasting impression,
Totally.
but maybe not in the way he intended.
This is where things get a little ironic, right?
Yeah.
Harrison delivers the longest inaugural address ever.
Wow.
Over 8,000 words.
It's a book.
And he does it outside in the freezing rain
Without
without a coat or a hat.
Oh my gosh.
Talk about dedication.
Or maybe a lack of common sense.
You tell me.
I mean, that dedication sadly seems to have led to pneumonia
Right.
and his death just 31 days later, making his the shortest presidency.
You know, it really makes you think, right?
Yeah.
About the forces beyond our control,
Yeah.
even at the highest levels of power.
Absolutely.
History's unpredictable, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's a guy, he fights his way to the highest office in the land.
Right.
And what brings him down?
Yeah.
Bad weather.
Bad weather.
Wild.
Speaking of forces beyond our control,
Yeah.
let's move on to a president whose inaugurations were kind of overshadowed
Right.
by this looming threat of civil war.
Totally.
Abraham Lincoln.
Both of Lincoln's inaugurations in 1861 and 1865,
Right.
they were both held under this
Yeah.
cloud of tension.
Yeah.
Security was crazy tight, especially in 61.
Yeah.
Imagine Lincoln riding through the streets,
Yeah.
knowing that his nation was about to tear itself apart.
It's heavy stuff.
It is. It is.
And to add like a layer of creepiness to it all,
Yeah, tell me.
John Wilkes Booth, Lincoln's future assassin,
Right.
was actually in the crowd at that second inauguration
I know, right.
just weeks before the assassination.
It's chilling, isn't it?
It's crazy.
History often feels inevitable in hindsight.
Right.
But in those moments, nobody knew what was coming.
Yeah.
It must have been a time of just immense uncertainty and fear
Absolutely.
for everyone.
Okay, let's jump ahead a few decades now
Okay.
to 1901 and Theodore Roosevelt,
Oh,
who became president after McKinley's assassination.
right.
His inauguration was surprisingly low-key,
Yeah.
held in a private home.
Right.
No fanfare, not even a Bible was used.
It was pretty different, wasn't it?
Yeah. Why the departure from tradition?
Well, you got to remember, Roosevelt was kind of suddenly thrust into the presidency, right?
Right.
And he knew how things would look.
Right.
He wanted to project this sense of, like, stability and continuity,
Yeah.
not look like he was celebrating,
Right.
you know,
Right, yeah.
in the wake of this tragedy.
Yeah.
So he opts for this simple, private ceremony,
Yeah.
which is pretty stark contrast
Yeah.
to those grand affairs we usually associate with inaugurations.
Yeah. It's really a good reminder that these events are like
Yeah.
carefully orchestrated,
Oh, yeah.
even down to the smallest details,
Absolutely.
to convey very specific messages.
For sure.
Now, let's talk about how technology started to kind of reshape these events,
Okay.
bringing them to like a wider audience than ever before.
Right.
Herbert Hoover's inauguration in 1929
Right.
kind of marks a turning point.
It does. It was the first one to be captured
Oh.
by sound newsreels.
Oh, wow.
So for the first time, people beyond those who were physically present
Right?
could actually hear the president's voice,
Wow.
the roar of the crowd, the sounds of history being made.
I bet that was revolutionary for the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Suddenly, this exclusive event
Right.
was being broadcast into homes across the country.
Right.
I mean, that must make people feel so much more connected to the political process.
It totals the beginning of a whole new era
Yeah.
where technology would play a bigger and bigger role
Yeah.
in shaping how people experience these pivotal moments in history.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It is, it is. And that evolution continued with Franklin D. Roosevelt's fourth inauguration in 1945,
Oh,
the first one to be televised.
wow.
Suddenly, millions of Americans could witness the transfer of power, like firsthand right there in their living rooms.
It's wild.
Talk about bringing history to life.
Yeah, it really is.
It is.
It's incredible to think how quickly technology kind of transformed the experience of these events. But it wasn't just the technology, was it?
No, not at all.
I mean, the content of the speeches, the tone, the mood,
Yeah,
they all reflected like the changing times as well, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, take FDR's fourth inaugural address, for example.
Yeah.
It was super brief,
Right.
especially compared to some of those marathon speeches we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
It was a real reflection of that kind of somber mood of the nation,
Right.
still grappling with the aftermath of World War II.
It makes sense. I mean, people were probably exhausted from the war effort, right?
Yeah.
Looking for a leader who offered like concise, impactful messages,
Exactly.
not long-winded speeches.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
How the length and the tone of an inaugural address
Yeah.
can be like a barometer for the nation's emotional state.
Yeah, it's true.
Speaking of impactful messaging,
Yes.
let's jump ahead to 1961
Okay.
and John F. Kennedy's iconic inauguration.
Nah, Camelot. Kennedy's inauguration was like a breath of fresh air, wasn't it?
Oh, totally was.
This young, charismatic leader stepping onto the world stage,
I know.
promising a new era of hope and progress.
Yeah, it was a real shift from the
Yeah.
anxieties of the war years.
Yeah.
Kennedy's Ask Not speech.
Oh, so good.
I know.
Yeah.
It just captured that optimism and
I-
idealism of a whole generation
Yeah.
eager to make their mark on the world.
Yeah, it's true.
It wasn't just about the transfer of power anymore.
Right.
It was about inspiring the whole nation
Yeah.
to embrace their potential.
It's amazing how, like, a single speech can still resonate so powerfully decades later.
I know, it's incredible.
That's crazy.
It really speaks to the power of language, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To capture the spirit of a time
Yeah.
and inspire action.
It shows that these inaugurations are more than just ceremonies.
They are.
They're like platforms for shaping national narratives,
Absolutely.
for transmitting values,
Yes.
for rallying the public around like a shared vision for the future.
You got it.
So we've seen these inaugurations reflect somber moods,
Right.
inspire hope,
Right.
mark new eras.
Totally.
Are there any other kind of themes or patterns?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That emerge when we look at these events throughout history. One that really jumps out to me
Okay.
is that constant push and pull
Yeah.
between tradition and change.
Right.
Inaugurations are obviously steeped in tradition,
Right. Yeah.
but they also evolve
Yeah.
to reflect the times, right?
Right.
Like the way we use technology is a perfect example.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've gone from sound newsreels to televised events
Right.
to social media live streams.
It's crazy how much has changed in terms of how we actually experience these events, right?
Like,
We can
yeah.
now like follow along in real time,
I know, right?
share our thoughts online,
Yeah.
connect with people all over the world who are also watching.
Yeah, it's a global thing now.
It's created this sense of global participation that was unimaginable just a few decades ago.
It's true. But amidst all this technological advancement,
Yeah.
there's still this deep reverence for tradition.
Right.
The core elements of the ceremony, the oath, the address,
Uh-huh.
the peaceful transfer of power,
Yeah.
they're largely unchanged.
It's true.
It's that blend of tradition and innovation
Yeah.
that I think makes these inaugurations
Yeah.
so captivating.
Yeah, it's like they're a bridge between the past and the future.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the enduring spirit of American democracy, adapting and evolving while still staying true to its core principles.
Exactly. And speaking of evolution,
Yeah.
the inaugurations of the 21st century offer some fascinating examples of how this tradition continues to,
Okay.
adapt and reflect the changing face of America.
Okay. Yeah.
Barack Obama's election in 2008
Yeah.
was a huge moment,
Yeah. Yeah.
marking the first African-American president.
Such a powerful symbol of progress, wasn't it?
It really was.
A culmination of the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
And like a testament to the increasing diversity of American society.
It was a moment of profound change
Yeah.
and hope,
Yeah.
a feeling that anything was possible.
Yeah, I remember it well.
Yeah, and his second inauguration in 2013,
Yeah.
maybe less groundbreaking, but still
Yeah.
carried significant historical weight,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
It really affirmed the nation's commitment to progress and inclusivity.
And it also showcased how technology continues to shape these events, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the use of social media and online platforms to engage the public.
Yeah.
I mean, it reached new heights during Obama's second term,
For sure.
setting the stage for future inaugurations to become even more interactive and globally connected.
It's amazing, isn't it,
Yeah.
to think about how far we've come from those early inaugurations, where news spread by word of mouth
Right.
and audiences were limited to those physically present.
Totally.
Today, with technology, the whole world can witness
Right.
and even participate
Right.
in these historic moments.
It's like it speaks to the democratization of information,
Absolutely.
the breaking down of barriers,
Yes.
and the potential for connecting people across cultures
Yeah.
and continents.
And yet, even with all these advancements,
Right.
the essence of the inauguration remains the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
A celebration of democracy,
Mm-hmm.
a symbol of hope,
Yeah.
a reminder of that peaceful transition of power.
Right.
That lies at the heart of this whole American experiment.
And as we move forward, it's really intriguing to consider how future inaugurations will continue to kind of shape and
Right.
reflect the American narrative.
Totally.
What new challenges and triumphs
Yeah.
will they embody?
I know, right?
How will technology continue to influence the experience?
Those are great questions.
Yeah.
And honestly, while we can't predict the future with certainty,
Right.
one thing's for sure,
What's that?
presidential inaugurations will always be a fascinating window
Yeah.
into the soul of America,
Yeah, absolutely.
reflecting our hopes and anxieties and that enduring commitment
yeah.
to democratic values.
Wow. We've really journeyed through over 2 centuries of inaugurations, haven't we?
We have.
From horse-drawn carriages
Yeah.
to televised spectacles, from anxieties of war to the promise of progress.
Yeah.
It's incredible to see how this tradition has adapted,
Right.
still holding on to that core essence.
It really is a testament
Yeah.
to the resilience of American democracy.
Absolutely.
No matter what challenges this nation has faced.
Right.
I mean, economic turmoil, social upheaval, global pandemics,
Right.
that peaceful transfer of power has remained a constant.
It's true.
It's a ritual that binds us all together.
Yeah. Yeah.
A reminder that despite our differences,
Yeah.
we're united by this shared commitment
Yeah.
to democratic values.
I like that.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the past today.
We have.
But as we wrap up our deep dive, I'm kind of curious.
Yeah.
What do you think the future holds?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
For presidential inaugurations.
How might they evolve in the coming decades?
Well, I think one thing's for certain.
Yeah.
Technology is going to continue playing a major role.
Right.
I mean, we've already seen that shift, right?
Right.
From radio to television to social media.
Yeah.
Who knows what innovations are around the corner?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine experiencing an inauguration in the metaverse.
Wow. Yeah.
Witnessing a holographic projection of the president
That's wild.
addressing the nation
Yeah.
from every corner of the globe.
Okay, so while all of those technological advancements sound exciting,
Right.
is there a risk of us kind of losing that personal connection?
That's a good point.
Yeah. That feeling of being present
Right.
at this momentous historical event.
Yeah, it's a valid concern.
Yeah.
The challenge is going to be leveraging technology
Right.
in a way that actually enhances the experience
Right.
without sacrificing that human element.
Yeah, I like that.
You
Like
know,
that? Yeah.
maybe it's about finding new ways to foster a sense of community
Right.
and shared purpose,
Yeah.
even in a virtual setting.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the ever-present issue of security
Oh, of course.
in an increasingly polarized and unpredictable world,
Yeah.
ensuring the safety of everyone. The president, dignitaries, the public.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only going to become more complex, right?
It is. Yeah.
I mean, we might even see tighter security measures,
Right.
which unfortunately could make the event less accessible to the average citizen.
It's true. It's a tough balance to strike,
Yeah.
but I have to believe that there are creative solutions out there,
Yeah.
ways to enhance security without creating that,
Right.
fortress-like atmosphere.
Right.
Maybe it involves using technology in new ways.
Right.
Like think about advanced screening methods.
Yeah.
Or crowd control measures that are less intrusive
Yeah.
and more effective.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
And beyond those logistical challenges,
Yeah.
there's also the question of relevance, right?
Of course.
How do you make this centuries-old ceremony
Yeah.
feel fresh and engaging
Yeah.
for a 21st century audience?
It's a good question.
Yeah, especially one that is bombarded with information
Yeah.
and entertainment from every direction.
Right. It's going to take some creativity,
Yeah.
innovation,
Mhm.
and a deep understanding of our evolving cultural landscape.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe future inaugurations will become more interactive,
Oh, interesting.
incorporating music,
Yeah.
art storytelling in new and unexpected ways,
Ah, I like that. Yeah.
Or maybe they'll become more personalized,
Yeah.
reflecting the unique style and vision of that incoming president.
I could see that. Imagine an inauguration that feels more like a festival or a cultural event,
Totally.
with performances,
Yeah.
installations, opportunities for the public to engage with the new administration's priorities.
Exactly. It's all about finding ways
Yeah.
to make history come alive,
Yeah.
to connect with people on an emotional level,
Right.
and to inspire them to believe in the power of democracy
Yeah.
and their own ability to shape the future.
It's fascinating to consider all of the possibilities, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah. But even amidst all the speculation about technology and innovation,
Yeah.
we shouldn't lose sight of those core values
Right.
at the heart of the inauguration.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The peaceful transfer of power,
Uh-huh.
that commitment to democratic principles,
Yeah.
the hope for a brighter future,
Right.
those are the enduring elements
Yeah.
that have to remain at the forefront,
Yeah.
no matter how the ceremony itself evolves.
So from Washington's broadcloth suit to metaverse experiences,
Right.
from anxieties of war to aspirations for a more inclusive future.
It's quite a journey.
Yeah, presidential inaugurations have mirrored the American story, haven't they?
They really have.
I mean, they've reflected our challenges and triumphs,
Uh-huh.
our evolving identity,
Yeah.
and our unwavering belief in the power of the people.
I think you nailed it.
And as we look ahead,
Yeah.
it's clear that these inaugurations will continue to be
Right.
this fascinating window into the soul of America,
They will.
a reflection of who we are, where we've been,
Uh-huh.
and where we're headed as a nation.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
That is a perfect note to end on.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into presidential inaugurations.
It was my pleasure.
We hope you found it as insightful and thought-provoking as we did.
Me too.
Until next time,
Yeah.
keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the world around you.